Okay, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, July 31st at 9 a.m. We'll start the work session. We'll kick it off with public comment. Anybody in the room have any public comment? Anybody online have any public comment? Okay. Sarah?
Good morning, Commissioners. Sarah Beeler, Crook County Library. Each year, the library applies for the State of Oregon Ready to Read grant. It is a state-funded, non-competitive grant, which means if you're a public library and you apply, you're probably getting it. So they can kind of anticipate what that'll be, and our amount that's on their list is $10,186. And I would like to ask for permission to go ahead and apply for that Ready to Read grant.
And what happens with the, what is ready to read? Just
What it is funding to help with literacy for ages 0 through 14, and also it pays for our summer reading program.
perfect. Perfect. Well, I think it should be moved to the consent agenda.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Brad?
Well, I'm here to ask for permission to purchase $212,000 of asphalt for Upper Davis repairs up there from Juniper Canyon Road to Cayuse. It's in, needing some attention up there. And that's, what the cost was for the asphalt. I did three verbals with 3 asphalt companies around, and Tri-County, Butte Asphalt was the cheapest at $1,300.
Great. Susie, you got?
No, I've had my questions answered and I'm very happy with what this is. I do have to say, I called our plant down in California and they were selling asphalt for $90 a ton anyway. And I told Brad, and for some reason, I thought we would bid at 105, and I said, what's going on? And now that it's $59, we got a bargain rate. So, even better. So, he assured, I don't know where I got the 105, but somehow it got into my brain. But I moved that we put this on the consent agenda.
This is gonna get kicked off Monday.
Okay.
So we put, reader board signs up there on Davis Loop to let the citizens know, and then, one of my staff members did a Juniper Canyon, Facebook post on it, so there's been a lot of good comments on it, so.
Perfect.
Do we need to move before Wednesday then, Brad?
Well, as long as it's on the consent agenda, yeah, I mean, we're gonna start purchasing on Monday, so. Do we,
So we need a motion to approve it for now, today.
Yeah. I make a motion to approve the purchase of asphalt from Tri-County Paving.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you.
John?
Commissioners, a couple of weeks ago, Matt McCall from New Orleans border came and requested a letter to state legislature in support of Greater Idaho ballot measure 7-86. So I put this letter together, tried to stay true to what the ballot measure said and what the voters voted on. And as the advisory vote asked, it basically just lets Senator Finley and Representative Reese Iverson that our voters were in support of them continuing negotiations. So that's what's on the letter. I don't know if you guys have any feedback or want any changes.
I read it. I thought it was good.
Okay, all right, it's good.
I give you an A for English.
So they, all right, I'll take it.
Okay, there you go.
Take it, no gold star this
Okay,
time. I have a signable version if you guys want. It's just a letter, or we can do it on consent agenda next week. It's up to you.
I think we should just wait.
There's no urgency
Consent
to it.
agenda is fine with me.
Okay. Then I'll just switch the dates there and send you a copy.
Sarah?
Yes, so a couple weeks ago, we presented the applications that we received for the solid waste disposal fee credit. And Jackie was kind enough at that time to kind of warn us that we probably would be having one come in from Redemption House. They did send one in, so I did attach it here today to have you guys access if you wish to move forward with them. The previous years, last year and then earlier this year, when we did approve it for the other ones who applied, they received $1,500 as a credit. So it's up to you guys if you want to, of course, give that to Redemption House as well. And if you want to approve it today, or if you want to roll it to consent agenda for next week.
And they have applied before, haven't they? It seems to me that you've talked about them before, Jackie.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a common thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine, as long as we're doing the same for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm fine with rolling it to the consent agenda.
Alright. Well,
Whoa, we're moving past to the agenda.
Is that a bad thing? You need
Uh,
to-
take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, we better take a couple minutes so I can catch up. This item that is next on the agenda is a proposal to make some adjustments to the PTO accrual for employees with 16+ years service. You might recall that earlier this year, we made some adjustments to how PTO accrual works for some of our employees who weren't here for over 16 years. So this is an effort to make sure we provide some additional benefit to those folks who we didn't do anything for previously. And also recognize our appreciation for their term of service here at Crook County. The memorandum includes some information regarding the two options that are being proposed. The employees can either elect to take the hours and add it to their personal accrual bank, or they can take a lump sum payment. There's information in the memorandum regarding the cost. If all the employees elected to take the lump sum payment, it would cost the county approximately $78,000. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. Are there any questions about what we're proposing or?
Was there still a cap on how much they can accrue?
There's a cap on how much they can accrue. So unrepresented employees can accrue up to 400 hours. So if they're at that 400 hours or they're close to it, they may not be able to, they won't be able to go over that 400 hours. That's why we included the lump sum payment as an alternative in case folks, regardless, they can choose the lump sum payment, but if they're at that cap, they have the option of at least receiving the lump sum payment.
yeah, it's so important to take care of those people that have been here. And such an important part of our county, take care of our community.
And then Will and I talked, we need to try to do an appreciation for our other employees at 5, 10, whatever, and maybe have like a little ice cream social or something, but that's down the way, but just a little more appreciation for, you don't have to go to 16 years to be appreciated, because we do appreciate all of them.
Yeah.
And we'll get there.
Totally.
No, I think this is the first step in looking at our kind of our longevity program, I guess. I think there's some additional work we can do to acknowledge or encourage employees to stay here, because it's a great organization to be at, and we want them to stick around. And so I think there's more we can do, but I think this is an important step.
I agree.
Right.
Okay, I guess consent agenda, or is this something we need to talk about at the public meeting?
I'm open to whatever you guys want. I'm comfortable with consent, unless there's more to discuss.
I'm fine with consent.
Okay, I guess someone could pull it if they wanted
Yeah,
to.
and if like
So-
anything, if anybody wants to discuss it, they're
Okay,
welcome
Okay.
to request.
we're zooming through here. Guess what? You again.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, well,
Next up is the kind of a proposed procedure for how our the proposed compensation review committee will operate. The draft that I included in the packet has been updated since I provided that to Sarah. And I have an updated version, besides the formatting changes I made. I did change the composition of the committee. I think in the draft that is in the packet, it identifies the committee as being composed of the human resources director, the finance director, and the county manager. I've taken the county manager out and added a rotating position to be assigned by the county manager. The rotating aspect is just there so we can avoid conflict. So if a department head is coming in, kind of advocating or suggesting that a grade needs to be looked at, to avoid any sort of perceived conflict, they shouldn't be on the committee. So I just want to have some flexibility with that third position. The other change is that instead of having the final decision maker be the board, it will be the county manager making that final decision. And I think those are the substantive changes I made, besides cleaning up some of the formatting on the compensation, or just on the procedure outline that's included in the packet.
I'm good with it.
I'm fine, yeah. So again, do we need to do public or consent is okay?
I would recommend consent, but happy to have more conversation if anybody wants
Again,
to
anytime
discuss it.
anybody wants to.
Hold on.
Okay, you got the rundown,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn this one over.
man.
Randy and Katrina are up, huh?
We're on a roll today, it is moving quick.
What is it? It's 9/11. This may be our,
Sit here.
maybe the speediest thing we've got.
Right? Well, good morning. Randy and I are here with the June Community Development Report. It also winds up our fiscal year, so we'll get to see kind of where we finished for the year. Have a couple notes throughout, but I'll let Randy start with building.
Building, so, I mean, permit numbers, we've kind of seen a slowdown as far as inspections are, go, usually we average over 1,000 a month, we're dipped down into about 800, low 800, so we are seeing a little bit of that, but, commercial activity is still keeping the plans examiners, because the guys are inspectors and examiners at the same time. Just kind of balance them out and kind of give us some breathing room to work on that blue beam training, and then, last 3 years with the new guys we've got, there was a lot of cross certifications, so it's given us a great opportunity to kind of a little bit of slow down, kind of just sharpen that edge on with their new certifications and get some more education and experience, so. But overall, I mean, from last year to this year, about 300 commits-ish difference, we're down, so it's not.
Total year or this month?
Total year, yeah, so, we're only about 300 difference, so I don't think that's too bad at all. Given that, everything we're kind of hearing is that a lot of the projects, a lot of folks are kind of waiting to see what happens, come 2025, interest rates and stuff like that, but we still got polished DRs, they're still doing a few, our production builders, we still have our local home builders going, so, I mean, it's nothing too concerning, it's actually, prior to the data centers and kind of this big boom we've had, it's kind of, a little more than what normal was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, so. Right now, what have we got? Still 1,200 permits open, 1,200 jobs that we're still actively inspecting. Justice Center, we're getting ready to wrap it up pretty soon. Is that right, Brian? We're doing that. Real soon. Yeah. Same thing with the CCO 56 data center. Getting ready to complete that, they issued full CO for that one. Apples came through. We're working on their new set of plans. Now that Fortis has taken over, that's officially happened. And so we're reviewing the plans from the shell to what needs to be completed in that half of that building. Durbit Car Wash at the end of town, you guys can see it's broke ground, it's going. Wichita Valley Daycare, we just got a temporary CO last week.
How many children at the daycare? Do you have any idea?
So it's funny, you should ask, they better do some negotiating to get them open with a temporary CO. Currently they have 16, but that capacity there for them, I think was, building was 89 occupants total they could have. So we give them a temporary CO cap at 49 right now until they fix a couple things. But, they're looking to grow, but right now they have 16 kids there.
Okay.
But they got,
That's a dire need here in Brianville, are they doing any infant to, 6 weeks to whatever, or do you know that?
They are not, so this occupancy is 2.5 years and older, so critical key factor happens in the code book, in the code for protection of kids is 2.5 and younger, because they're incapable of self-preservation, and so there's a lot more code requirements to kick in when you have kids under 2.5. And I don't think they wanted to change a bunch of diapers, it's kind of what she said.
No, I mean, it's a harder thing, but it's a need that we have.
Yep,
So it's something that we as a county, we need to kind of try to pursue and look into, and I just, as a curiosity, Seth and I just went up to Eastern Oregon counties to the Point of Morrow. And they built a 20,000 square foot building, and immediately after they built it, they put another 20,000 square feet on. And they had 60 some with a capacity, I think, of 85, but they were doing their infant, and it was a 1-to-4 ratio. I kind of asked all the ratios and whatever, because down the road, hopefully we can encourage that here.
yeah. These owner operators of Bushkill Valley Daycare, they chose to have.
Yeah, and I don't blame them,
Yeah,
but we have a need.
yep, for sure, we do.
Where is this?
It's the old Honey Hole, the old Grimes Highway Chicken Market.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you're that old.
Well,
They're
Check
gonna
in
be
there.
clocking into-
Yes, Grimes Highway Market. That's what I remember going in there.
Yeah.
A couple
Best
ago,
chicken in town,
what's that?
best chicken in town.
It was, yeah. It was good stuff.
Well, now the kids are there, you don't get any chicken, sorry, Brian.
Other than that, I mean, the project up, we got the convenience store in addition to that restaurant bar up there in the complex up there that's gonna be developed.
Is that Rooster Bar? Is that where that's gonna be up on top of the grid?
Yep, Rooster Bar, so they kind of master plan, we did their civil underground package for all their infrastructure, which was their convenience store, which we got plans on. The restaurant bar, the Rooster, and then they're gonna do like a food cart area and, you know, some other things up in that, up there. And then, I think I did see, city planning, there's another small data center that's in the planning stages at this point up there, but I think it's only, what was it, 160 some thousand.
61.
61.
61.
Smaller.
Did the tractor place ever get going? Did they get their things settled or no?
We got their permits issued and I mean, they, like I said, they had some substantial firewall and a couple other things to do. They did, we have not had any inspections or activity out there, but the permits have been issued and we're just waiting to hear from them when they want to call us for to come on Facebook. Other than that, oh, and then on our 5-year, plan, we did meet 100% of our certification goals. We've been working on this for 7 years. This is the first time we've met it once, maybe 4 years ago, but then, that's Crook's leave, and then so, like I said, that's 8 years in a run, we've got our 2 A levels of each discipline in-house, and everybody is certified for residential, so.
Good job.
Good, very good.
Great. Yeah. That'll change next month, because we got a retirement, and there is my A-level election. I want to be happy for this month.
Take everyone you can get, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just make a quick note, we did have a permit tech give their resignation, we lost him to the city of Redmond. At this point, I don't plan on posting that position, just because numbers are down, we're gonna go ahead and hold off and kind of see what happens this spring as they start to pick back up, hopefully. In the planning world, our numbers for June were actually pretty close to last year. We had 33 applications come through, and last year we had 39. Overall, we're down pretty significantly. Fiscal year, we were at 293 compared to last year at 383, but we are less staffed, so they're definitely keeping busy and then working on other projects. I don't know if Will mentioned anything about Katie McDonald going to floodplain training. In May, she went to a 4-day course, brought back a whole bunch of great information, which is good considering we're going into this possible changes of FEMA making changes that we're gonna have to implement. So, we're working on streamlining some of that process, and then as these new measures come through and we're having to add those, it'll be a good time to implement those and train staff on what's necessary. The Dollar General, I think you guys already were aware, but was denied and there hasn't been an appeal received. So. Then on-site, you're still kind of similar picture. June was actually pretty slow for on-site. We were down, we only had 12 permits, whereas last year we had 25. I'm not really sure what's driving that, but it was a little bit slower where the month before was actually a little bit over. So just kind of the ebbs and flows. Overall, for fiscal year was only down 16 permits from the prior year. So it's still staying pretty comparable. One of the things I wanted to mention with onsite is we are doing cross-training with our permit techs. And so the goal would be that all of our permit techs can intake a basic application for each department. So they've been pretty segregated, and a building permit tech is a building permit tech, onsite permit tech does onsite, planning does planning. So I don't want ever to be the instance of we don't have somebody in onsite, so a customer is turned away because there isn't anybody that can intake the application. I at least want to be able to get them like through the door. So onsite has done a couple trainings with staff to teach the intake process of onsite applications, and then we'll continue to work through planning and then teach planning building. So hopefully everybody can at least get them through the door, and we're not turning anybody away. So, and then code enforce. Oh, I wanted to mention too, I added a KPI for onsite. So one of those goals was that we'd have a 75% one business day turnaround for inspections. And at this point, they're sitting at 92% for gym. So they're doing really well.
Very
with getting
good,
those
very
turnaround.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then code enforcement, only opened 2 cases in June, but also closed 2 cases. So he has been working, on getting those things turned around. It looks like we're a little bit lower in our KPI this month. We were sitting at 50% of cases, closed within 90 days of the complaint. And we were at 82 of those cases closed within a year. So just something for us just kind of keep an eye on and see how things are going. Kind of depends what the cases are.
Yeah, I think it's good to look at those, but it's so difficult with those things.
It is. Mhm.
So much is out of control of the county now.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm glad we have that, but I think we don't need
Yeah.
to be.
Just kind of something to keep an eye on. So building's a lot easier usually to get those cases closed, get permits issued. Whereas nuisance things kind of take some time to get cleaned up and work with them. So. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Nope.
No, very good report.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Will, you got anything?
Yeah, just a couple of items. A couple weeks ago, I forwarded a letter that the county received regarding some changes to FEMA's floodplain program. This is related to a lawsuit and resulting opinion, basically saying that FEMA is in compliance with the NEPA requirements and environmental requirements. I think it resulted from the litigation specifically was kind of focused on the impact of a decrease in salmon and salmonoid species that are available for, I think it's a transient killer whale population. So if you ever wondered if killer whales would impact Crook County, here's some evidence that it does.
Well, you know, Seth wanted us to declare that we were a port.
Yeah,
So if
maybe
we
that's-
now have
maybe
a
that's
killer
part of
whale
our,
problem,
maybe that's part of our argument.
that might go towards his argument on how we're working with our killer whales here.
We might have to. We can look into that. But the bottom line for us right now, by December 1st, the letter outlined a few options that we have to select. I haven't taken a deep dive into those. They have some webinars. I think they start today. I think there's one scheduled, but community development will take a kind of a deep dive into that, figure out what our best options are going forward. This will impact Crook County. We do have floodplains in Crook County. It's, I think, potentially much more significant for the city of Prineville and how it may impact development really within the core of Prineville. So it's something we need to continue to track. And obviously we'll be following back up on this issue well before December 1st to discuss in more detail how it's going to impact Crook County and what our best option is to move forward. But I just kind of wanted to reiterate that because that is something I don't want to have slip through the cracks. The next item I wanted to discuss is just generally regarding wildfires. So Susie suggested, I think it was last week, that we kind of get ready for declaring a fire emergency. So I reached out to Davi from the governor's office and got some information from him in terms of what steps we need to take to declare a fire emergency. I'll continue to work with our emergency manager, Andy Pearson, and see what other counties are doing to make sure we're ready to go when hopefully it doesn't come to that point. But if it does come to that point, I want to make sure we have our I's dotted and T's crossed so we can declare that emergency as soon as it's practical. So working on getting ready there. I don't think it's as straightforward as some of the prior drought declarations that the county has made. So I think there's going to be some thresholds that need to be met for us to qualify for any sort of funding that may come as a result of that declaration. So I just want to make sure we're on solid ground when we do declare that declaration.
Great. Anything else?
Or make that declaration. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, like Susie said, we had a great tour at the Port of Morrow. I thought it was really interesting that they're so able to streamline everything. That's why I kind of wanted to become a port.
That's why we went, and now the killer whales.
Now the
we're-
killer whales, that
we're-
might be,
we're in there,
yeah, we got at least a reason why
And
we
we
should.
also need Amazon here
Yeah.
too, because they provide a lot of equipment for the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just, it was a really well planned area and they've got everything from cornfields to data centers to
Anaerobic digesters.
anaerobic digesters. And they said that, if you've had soup, you've probably had onion powder from the Port of Morrow. I thought that was pretty interesting. And so it was a really good tour, so.
And they were built, the biggest thing that I thought was interesting, and this is why I want to declare. They are adding on a 20,000 square foot event center to their museum. And their museum does all the different industries that are there. They all have displays and whatever. So I asked what the cost was. And I mean, there's steel beams it's a big dog thing. And she goes, well, 2 years ago, it was only 4.5 million and now we're paying 9 million. And I'm thinking, soul, bring that puppy down here. But anyway, so yeah.
Well, Susie brings up a good point because when we were looking at the pool there 8 years ago, they were like a third of our price. And
Yeah.
again, they're like a third of, and I go, there's gotta be something.
Yeah.
And I finally figured out what they're working with is that they have on-site full employees for their facilities. They have like 120 construction workers, so they don't have to pay prevailing wages. And I kept on going, so how are you able to do these? Oh, we're just very efficient. And I finally got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It took me about 6 years to find their secret, but I was happy that I know now.
Yeah.
That it's not because they're just a better government than us. It's that they have totally different rules.
And they have
they're doing.
workforce housing.
Yeah.
And they have the childcare center and up above the museum, Amazon has provided. There's a 3D printer, probably as big as this area of the room, but it's all Amazon. It's for 6th grade through high school, robotics, drones. It's very, very impressive, very impressive. It was a very interesting tour and the meeting was very good. And one of the things they brought out in the meeting is Klamath County has just joined Eastern Oregon. And what they're trying to do is it's Eastern Oregon, but they're trying to get counties with like problems and like minds to unify so that we have a unified basis when we go to Portland. We're not just one county standing alone, we're unified. And so they've had some letters this week and I became their English teacher and corrected them, but they said they were glad. So anyway, and I was very impressed with the people that were there and all the information. It was a very good tour, very good tour. Now, on commissioner reports, I'm very excited about this week. So I go to Food Insecurity, which is a meeting once a month, and it's run by Shauna Holland, who is an OSU employee. But it has St. Vincent's, there's about 12 women there, and they do amazing with not a lot. And they may have, this gal might have a box of oranges and this guy over here needs a box and they're trading and they really are very, very efficient. And a gal contacted me and she is with United Way. And FEMA gave money to the 3 counties, Jefferson, Deschutes, and Crook. And in Crook, it would be for emergency housing and food resources. They needed someone to head as far as government, which I said, of course I will, and it's $70,000 that will be coming into the county to those women, and it will be, it's gonna be a wide basis. It might be a utility help, it might be food, whatever. We're still kind of, I'm doing the information about me and my address and all of that. But I just am very, very excited. 7,000 would be wonderful. 70,000 is amazing.
Bill raised his hand, and I'm assuming it's Bill Elliott.
Yes, Bill, I can't come to the emergency meeting.
Bill, if you're talking, you're still muted.
All right, I'm unmuted finally. Yes, Bill Elliott, I'm getting phone calls from this Team 5 fire team and from Lieutenant Madden. And I apologize for interrupting, but they are needing some information from the commissioners. I'm not exactly sure. It's some kind of a declaration to get mutual aid for structure protection in Paulina. Is there one of you that would be willing to go to the meeting or have a discussion with these Team 5 folks that are here trying to help us?
We'd like get up and leave right now.
No, not right this second. Their meeting starts in 30 minutes.
I guess since it's Paulina, I guess
Yeah, why
I'm
don't you-
one, Bill, so I'll be there. Is it at EOC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll be there. So 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
Bill,
you.
Matt will be there, will he not? Because he's has our authorization for that.
He does, but the state fire marshal, there's something going on there between the Team 5 guys that are here with the incident command, the state fire marshal, and that stuff. So it's the second request in 30 minutes that I've gotten for a commissioner to go up there and figure out what's going on.
I met the state fire marshal up on top of the hill about 10 o'clock last night. He gave me his card. I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, okay.
So, okay, thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, anything else before we move into executive session? Right.
Oh, dear.
Crook County Commissioners will now reach executive session under our. Designated by the governing body, negotiate real property transactions. ORS 192-66028. Consulting with counsel concerning the legal entity of a public body. With regard to current litigation or litigation. Representatives of the news media designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report any deliberations during the executive session. Except to state the general subject sessions previously announced. No decision may be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, return to open session. Welcome the audience back in the room. You ready? The Crook County Board of Commissioners will now leave executive session under RS 192-660-2E with the purpose of conducting deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property transactions. And ORS 192-660-2H consulting with counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of the public body with regard to current litigation likely to be filed. Representatives of the news media designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All members of the audience are asked to the representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report any deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session is previously announced. The decision may be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we return to open session and welcome the audience back into the room. Any decision, any actual?
Nothing on the real property line.
No.
So for the matter under 2H, I recommend a motion to gather the information and then correspond with the counterparties as discussed in the executive session.
Second? Any discussion? Nope. All those in favor? Aye. Great. During the meeting?
Brian, what's your schedule today?
After noon, I have,